I'm Chuck Frederick, the owner slash administrator of Helping Hands Residential Care Home. If you want to know the top 5 issue I experienced with running and operating my assisted living facility, stay tuned and check this video out. So one of the top issues I experienced in running my assisted living facility is staffing. Being able to keep and retain a great staff is very, very challenging. The main issue is whenever you think about bringing somebody in, how much we paying, how much you paying. That's the main thing they care about. So when you have those type of people, not saying that they aren't going to work well, but there are people that take advantage and they are just hunting and trying to find the best opportunity, the best paying job, for them. Which you can't knock people. That's what they prefer. Then, that's what it is. But being in this business, you'll always move around if you're just in it for the money. With such a high turnover in this industry, you'll always be training and making sure that your staff is up to date with the current law changes and regulations in the industry and making sure that they are doing things the way that you want them done at your facility. You want to always be able to maintain a healthy and welcoming work environment. You want to make sure that your staff is able to talk to you and come to you whenever they have an issue. If they're frustrated, if they're upset, you don't want to brush off the things that they have issues with, because this industry, it becomes a little challenging working with women that may be very forgetful and you have to constantly repeat yourself, or working with men that need assistance in the bathroom and another person calling you, or so whenever they have frustrations, be open, be able to listen, and be able to help them decompress. Sometimes they just need to be able to talk and get those emotions out. So my second most common issue is always making sure you're in compliance. You have fire drills you have to do, you have health inspections you have to do, you have to make sure that you're keeping track of all your residents' medications, what comes in, what goes out, when they take their medication, when they don't take their medication. Um, document, document, document. That's the main thing. You don't want to push things off. You always want to handle things right then and there, so that way you never get behind on it. Once you get behind, it'll be tough catching up, and you have your first review after 2 years. So doing things wrong for over a year and then having a consultant come in, or having someone come in right before you get ready for your inspection to try to get everything up to code, you don't want to have to deal with that. So make sure that from the beginning you're handling all of your administrative tasks, your documentations, and your regulatory items in the correct manner. My third toughest issue is managing expenses. Now, this is a big one because when you're getting started, it's a lot of things coming at you. You have a mortgage, you have utilities, you have placement agencies if you're using them to fill your beds, you have payroll. It's so many things coming at you, and this all before you start making money. That's why you have to have your financials in order. That's why you're required to have almost 30 grand in the bank in order to be able to open the facility. So when you first get started, you can purchase a home or you can rent a home. If you decide to purchase, you got about 30 to 45 days before that first mortgage payment comes in. And if you're still working through licensing, that can start chunking and taking out of your reserves if you didn't factor that in, that you'll be required to start making those payments prior to you getting any residents. So I would definitely say that is one of the biggest things that you have to deal with. Now, when you start making money, if you didn't market and start getting your own residents on your own, then you have to think about using placement agencies. If you were using placement agencies to get your residents, they're going to want their money. So most times they charge 80% to 100% of the first month's rent. You split that into 2 payments. So if you have a resident that comes in for 2 grand, if that resident comes in for 2 grand, They want 1,000 up front and 1,000. But if you have one resident and you have one caretaker taking care of that one resident, it's almost better to have none than one, because once you have that one resident, you're making payroll, and your payroll is the same no matter if you have one or three residents or one or two residents. So you want to try to at least get two people in to kind of offset that payroll cost, because that's another thing that can kind of set you back. Even though you need to get started, that's a big issue that you'll have if you're not able to keep those beds filled or get people in fast enough. My fourth, and I wouldn't even say this an issue, is more of a challenge. Make sure you're maintaining the correct level of residents care. So when your resident come in, you're going to do an assessment prior to them coming in, and once they come in, you have a certain standard of how you're going to care for those residents. So whether it be showering 3 days a week or 5 days a week, or making sure they eat 3 meals a day, things don't always go as planned. The resident aren't always cooperative. They may not want to eat. They may not want to take their meds. They may not want to shower. So being able to have a staff that is nurturing and understanding and can talk the residents through these situations that they're experiencing, because this is a total change. Maybe 30 to 45 days ago, these men and women were able to take care of themselves, shower themselves, feed themselves, living on their own. And they have a situation where they go to the hospital and their kids fly in town, and now their kids telling them that, yeah, it's time for you to go here, and they don't think that that's where they should be. So it's a delicate situation. You have to take these things into consideration, and you have to be able to accommodate the residents in their transition as they're going through this situation. So just making sure that they're always taking the meds, you see them take their meds, that they're eating. We eat as a family. We everyone at the dining table together, or whether that's breakfast, lunch, dinner. We try to encourage everyone to you know dine together to make sure that it is a nice, welcoming environment. So as long as you're able to make sure that the residents are happy, they're good, that they get what they need, and you have a staff that's supportive, then that wouldn't be an issue at all. But depending on the resident, then you have to be able to make those accommodations as necessary. Last but not least, issue number 5. Now, marketing, no way around it. You got to get boots on the ground. You got to go out and meet people. You got to shake hands. You got to communicate. You may have to do some ads on social media, whatever it takes. But you got to let people know who it is and what you do. You got to get eyes on the street, feet on the ground. The main thing in this business is being able to keep your beds filled. If your beds aren't filled, then you aren't making any money. And if you aren't making any money, then you shouldn't be in the business, or you won't be able to stay in the business, because you'll be paying for your home and your staff and your utilities out of pocket. So unless you're living at the facility that you are operating in, it'll be tough. So you have to make sure that you're always marketing, reaching out to placement agencies, building relationships, going out meeting people, getting in the hospitals, getting in the rehabs, meeting the social workers, talking to the placement agencies. You have to continue to market your business to keep your beds filled and to get your beds filled. Right now, I'm not doing the best job of that. I'm leaning solely on the placement agencies to do that for me. Which, if that's your number one source, that isn't bad, but there is a fee associated with it. Or you can put in some sweat equity and go out, and be presentable and pass out flyers, pass out business cards, drop off some donuts, drop off some food to some of the hospitals. You gotta swap out some information and some items, to build relationships in this business. So that is my number one recommendation. So let's start from the top. What were our 5 issues? 1, staffing. 2, staying in compliance with ARCA. 3, managing your finances. 4, residence care. And 5, marketing and keeping your beds filled. Thank you. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to me directly. You can find me at DGT Chuck on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Charles Frederick. Let me know what you got. Let me know what topics you guys want me to go over. And let's see how we can help each other and grow together. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.